it's really easy to approach it with fear. You know, we're all afraid of, oh, what if I can't see this? Or what if I don't know when they're doing this because I can't see? Or, you know, it's like we see our vision, our lack of sight, the problem that instigates a lot of fear going into parenthood. And I would say, let that go. Let that go.
Hi everyone, it's Carrie from Live Accessible, and today on the Blind and Visually Impaired YouTuber Spotlight, we have Cindy from the channel Seeing Blind. So welcome Cindy, how are you today?
Good, how are you? It's so wonderful to be on your channel. Thank you so much for inviting me and having me on.
I'm so glad you're here. You're doing really great so far on your channel. I know all about your channel, but tell them a little bit about what kind of videos you make.
Yeah, so I originally started out, in January 2020 because it's funny. My husband, he's like, you know, as a blind mom, like you really do a lot. I would think other people would be interested in knowing how you do this stuff. You should put YouTube videos up on it. And I'm like, okay, I'll give it a try. So I ended up originally making it kind of like blind mom hacks, like how I, as a visually impaired mom, you know, raise my kids. So my kids are 2 and 4 years old, and when I first started my channel, they were 1 and 3. So a lot of my beginning videos were just about being a visually impaired mom and how I did a few things, and then I branched out just to regular hacks, I guess, for blind life. And yeah, just, you know, a little bit all over the place. I have Stargardt's disease, so a few of my videos are touching on, you know, my journey with sight loss, dealing with Stargardt's disease. And yeah, it's kind of a beginning project, and I'm still learning and growing every month. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing, you know, where this takes me and all the new friendships and relationships and people I've met through this process. It's been a beautiful journey so far.
I love your channel. So everybody, after you watch this video, go and subscribe to Cindy's channel. Check it out because she has really great blindness related content, and I love her mom hacks. And if you're a mom out there, you need to, if you're a blind mom out there, you definitely need to watch that and like put your own comments and everything and share your own blind hacks. And also I remember you did one about like the kitchen and hacks in the kitchen. I used some of that. I'm like, oh yeah, that's really great. Like,
well, and I got some of my bump dots ideas. I think some of those ideas that came from, well, some I got from you, and then I noticed a few because you did a bump dot video, and I was like, oh my gosh, we're doing the same thing. Like great minds think alike. But it's so funny. Sometimes it's so refreshing to hear how other people do things. Not that that you need to do it the same way, but it gets that creative, you know, vibe going, and the next thing you know, it just inspires you to find your own way of adapting that works for you. But it all branches from seeing how other people do things as well, and that's the beauty of sharing that kind of, you know, knowledge. And I always encourage all my subscribers to, like, hey, share what works for you, because there's no guarantee that what works for one person is going to work for everybody.
yeah.
And it's a community. It's like, you know, there's people have been doing that too on a lot of my videos. I'll see comments on, you know, how people, well, oh, I do this method or whatever. And it's really great. It's really helped me in return.
You can bounce off ideas from each other. So this is really great. I really give you kudos for all of those hacks and everything.
Thanks.
So tell us a little bit about what your vision is like. I know you mentioned that you have Stargardt's, but how much can you see? Describe your vision a little bit.
Yeah, you know, so with Stargardt's disease, and really any of the retinal conditions, macular degeneration and Cohen's dystrophy, all the retinal dystrophies, a lot of us will experience spikes and plateaus in our sight loss. And the last 5 years, I've had a major, major spike in my sight loss. I've lost a lot more of my vision where, I was plateaued for a good chunk of time. And a lot of it was due to just lack of knowledge during my pregnancies on how to take care of myself. And so with Stargardt's disease, vitamin A is it's a no-no. It really impacts our vision. And I was taking a prenatal pill that had vitamin A in it, and I didn't realize that. It was just something prescribed to me, and it didn't dawn on me to double check what my OB, who has no knowledge of Stargardt's disease, it didn't dawn on me to double check. And so anyway, with both my pregnancies, I lost a lot of vision. And so in my early 20s, I was already 20/400. And I'm not gonna, I've disclosed my age in videos past, so I'm okay telling people that I am like 37. I think I'm getting to turn 38. So I actually have lost a lot more vision. So I'd say I'm probably closer to 20/600 or maybe 20/800, but I appear as though I have a lot more vision than I do, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And also, what do you call it? The acuity doesn't tell you everything because visual field and a lot of other factors that play into vision too.
Yes.
So yeah,
it's a very unique, individualized thing that I feel like, putting a visual acuity number doesn't always describe, each individual's actual sight experience from day to day.
I totally agree. So tell us a little bit about why you started your channel, and what's your goal with your channel?
My goal, well, originally, and it still is, my primary goal is I definitely want to help my fellow blind moms and just everyone in the blind VIP community, especially those who want to someday be parents. I feel like there was just a lack of material, I guess, on YouTube or from parents that were blind on the platform. So I'm like, okay, I really want to try to fill that and put out as many videos as I can on that. And then I started branching out a little bit. And so my goal is definitely just to foster that community amongst us and to help and benefit and show people this is how I do things. Do you do it differently? And just form that network on the YouTube platform. And then I learned through the process that, wait, people get monetized. And I learned that, I've seen a lot of people with disabilities debate on this platform whether they should monetize and whether they shouldn't monetize. And, I got to the point where I realized, number one, this is a lot of work, right? It is so much work. It's so time consuming. It went from being a hobby to a very stressful hobby at times. And so I'm to the point where someday if I ever meet the requirements for monetization, I will probably consider it, but I don't know at this point. I would love to get that successful on YouTube, but I don't know if it'll happen. And if it doesn't, I'm okay with that. And if it doesn't, my ultimate goal is still there. I know I'm still helping people. I'm still benefiting my community. And even if it's just one or two people that are young and aren't sure they want to have a family, my goal is met, at least with that. And if I get some momentum and success, then, we'll see. So that's kind of where I'm at.
So everybody go ahead and subscribe right now and watch her video so she can be
so I can get my watch time up. Yeah.
I say anything that helps us. I mean, they say that there's so much unemployment. So if And YouTube really, really does require a lot of work. Okay, if you really want to take it seriously and actually, try to be more successful and grow your channel, you really have to put a lot of work and
Yes.
time into it. So I mean, and also the thing is, like, with monetization, it's very, very little, actually, and what you can get from monetization. So I mean, every little bit counts, little bit helps. So
I feel like there's a lot more time or a lot more jobs available today now than there used to be where you could work from home. But before COVID hit, it was really hard to find work from home. And a lot of us with disabilities, those are kind of coveted positions, especially for those who have transportation issues and, just require special accommodations, that it's just a lot easier when those are already set up in our home versus trying to get everything set up in a work environment as well. But for me and my work experience, it was always really, really difficult to find that. And so I actually support a lot of people who are disabled who try to do their best and make YouTube a success. And you're right, monetizing is such small money. It is not anything that you can make a living off of unless you're wildly, like, crazy, like a celebrity on YouTube, that you can really make that kind of money, I feel like. But I still always want to support those who make that choice, because it is a lot of work. And unfortunately, there's not a huge market out there for those of us who do want to work from home and take care of the family and work and contribute. And it's just YouTube provides one of those avenues. And so I'm a supporter of that. And I hope other people see that value as well.
absolutely. And so, Cindy, I want to ask you a question that I ask everybody who comes onto the channel. What is one piece of advice you would give to somebody who's blind or visually impaired? And in your case, I want you to speak specifically to some blind mamas out there.
Okay. One piece of advice to blind moms. I would say it's really easy to approach it with fear. We're all afraid of, oh, what if I can't see this? Or what if I don't know when they're doing this because I can't see? Or, it's like we see our vision, our lack of sight, the problem that instigates a lot of fear going into parenthood. And I would say, let that go. Let that go, because there are so many blind, totally blind, partially blind parents out there that have been doing this for decades and decades. And it's possible. And they can do it too. You can do it too. I've seen parents where both of them were totally blind and had 2 and 3 children. There's certainly a solution and ways to adapt for every situation that you will find, and that's specific to your eyesight loss. But ultimately, every parent raising a kid experiences the same problems and issues and struggles. And I would just recommend, if you feel like you're hesitant to start your family because of a reason out of fear, just let that go, because we all go through it. We all experience it, but you take one day at a time, you take one breath at a time, and you will learn what you need to do, and you will learn your little one from head to toe. You'll learn every sound they make. You'll learn every single movement and the way that they interact in the house and the little noises. You will know everything. That parent instinct kicks in, guys, and don't underestimate it. So let that fear go, and just know that you got it. You are a strong person, and is capable of adapting and being just as good of a parent as anyone else who is able-bodied.
So you heard it from Cindy. Those are very, very wise words. I love that. Yes, I agree 100%, especially to the fact that you will learn all of those sounds that happen in the house.
Yes.
You'll know exactly what's going on just listening.
It's so funny.
Even when there's silence.
Yes, even when there's silence. That's what amazes my husband, because there's been so many times when he's like, oh, you know, what's he doing over there? And I'm like, oh, he's just playing with this toy. And my husband's like, wait, how do you even know he has that specific toy? Like, he's in the other room. My husband it's clearly out of sight with him, but I can even by my ears know more what my children are doing than my husband, who's perfectly sighted. So yeah, guys, it's amazing how much we as parents adapt and become so familiar with every sound and every inch of our little ones. It is a very beautiful thing.
Yes, and I'll have to have you back on here and we can talk about being blind moms. That'll definitely be a very fun conversation. Thanks again, Cindy, for coming on here. For everybody that's watching, again, go check out her channel, subscribe, watch her videos. Don't just subscribe, but watch her videos and make some comments, and definitely give it a like too. All right, everybody, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.